Alright, I guess you guys would know this, but this is take 2 for episode 3 of the Three Stitches blog. My name's Lindsay, and I'm the third part of our trio here. Let's see here, I'm guessing I'm going to name this. This is the Wild and Wacky Week. That's kind of what this week turned out to be. So that's what I'm going to name it. Surprise, surprise, hard jump there, I know. Mom should be podcasting soon. Her, what's the name of it? Webcam. That's what I'm looking for. Her webcam should be coming soon. So she'll be the next podcast to come up, hopefully. It is currently Thursday evening, and you should be seeing this on Friday if all goes well. I get to work out Blip TV and all that kind of stuff tomorrow. So that'll be my reason for procrastinating on my schoolwork. So it'll all be your fault if I don't get it done. All your fault. Just kidding. Kind of. So, about this week. I flew in on Saturday, as our first podcast told you. Although I think by the time that came up, I was already here. But that's neither here nor there. My flight went well. You heard about it. I blogged about it. But I landed, as you can tell, and through a rather harried weekend, I got through it. Had a nice holiday, cleaned up, tinkered, knit a bit, zoned out on television because there's nothing to do on campus whatsoever. I mean, the cafeteria was closed, so that's like usually like what guides my day. Is, I get up before breakfast because I'm always there like beating down the door. It's kind of sad. And then I have dinner at a set time because I'm not much of a dork. And so that's usually what was like guiding my day. But without that, I was totally lost. I was just sitting here in my desk chair going, now what do I do? So, yeah. About this week. It's been a rather wild week. I mean, this much excitement that I have, I don't think you can see my hands anyway, so my gestures down here aren't really meaning anything. But, I totally lost my train of thought, which isn't hard on a Thursday afternoon with no classes on Friday. But, oh, yes, this week. Usually this much excitement never happens in a whole week. It's always like spread out. Always is. Never happens this way. So expect to have an extremely boring rest of the semester. So this week we kicked it all off Tuesday after classes. About this time on Tuesday we had two guys. I don't know who they were. Hadn't seen them before, which isn't hard because everyone here is everyone in my building is kind of like hermits. Oh, sorry. The only people that I interact with, and even then it's to a minimum basis, is my suite mates next door because we share a bathroom, so we kind of have to. But other than that, I don't even know my RA very well. I mean, he wouldn't even notice me if I was on campus walking around. If he was asked to ID me in a police lineup, heaven forbid that ever happen if I'm mistakenly identified as somebody. He wouldn't even know me. He'd be like, I don't know. Just beside the point. Because those lineups aren't exactly the best situation. They're supposed to give you mug books or mugshot books, and even one at a time. But that's my social psych coming in, and I should probably stop. So that's that. And this week, I swear, Mother Nature has been very bipolar. I believe it was on Wednesday. No, it was Tuesday. We had one of those, since I'm in Houston, very muggy days. Not very muggy, not summer muggy, but it was 70, 75, which is a nice temperature, especially for this time of year. But it was really, really humid. And then, I swear, I stepped out of my dorm on Wednesday morning. And this is at, oh goodness, almost 7 o'clock. And I step out the door, and it's I didn't check my computer that morning because my alarm went haywire. But, so nevertheless, I didn't get to turn my computer on because I was running a little late. Which with my morning schedule, it's like impossible for me to be running rather late, because I'm always up early anyways, so it kind of like balances itself out. I just get less time to kind of like put my face on, figuratively speaking. I don't take it off at night, but that'd be kind of weird. But step out the door, and it is like 30 degrees. I mean, I walk out the door, and I mean, this is again at 7. It's like, whoo, I'm awake. But yeah. So then today, finally hit the happy medium. But I bet you anything, tomorrow, it'll either be extremely cold, or extremely windy, or extremely warm, because today was the perfect day of the week. And it was. Not very windy, not very warm, not very cool, just kind of nice. Not too humid. You can feel it a bit, but it's Houston. You can't say much. Or you can't complain much, because it's always going to be there. I mean, we are, like, right on the Gulf of Mexico. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, we have no humidity. But there's your geography lesson of the day. If you didn't know where we were, if you thought we were, like, right in the middle of North Dakota, we're not. You're going to get so tired of me saying that by the end of the podcast. You're going to be, it could turn into a drinking game. Like, next time she says so, but I don't condone that. I really don't. I'm not over 21, so I can't condone that. And I wouldn't do it anyways. Well, I don't think I would. You never really know. Never really know. But, yeah, where was I? Last night. So eventful, it wasn't even funny. I mean, I thought that had, like, capped my week off. We had hallway frisbee. Did I talk about it? I don't know if I did. But 2 guys in our hallway, if I didn't. I can't even remember 5 minutes ago. Isn't that terrible? But 2 guys from our hallway are playing frisbee. Up and down the hallways. Smacking doors. Running up and down. I bet you can't see this. I've got to raise my arms higher. I'll have, like, arm here to leg. Right here. But, like, running up and down the halls. I don't know what they were doing. All I know is that they had 2 frisbees, and they were playing for a good 45 minutes. So again, another reason why our RA is totally worthless. Didn't even notice it. Didn't say a word. I think they just got bored and stopped. I don't think anybody tried to stop them. Which was kind of humorous on my end, because, I mean, first of all, I'm in my dorm at this point, of course. I wouldn't be sitting in the hall watching. But I'm kind of sitting here going, I wonder how long it's going to take for somebody to notice or say something. And that's terrible. It is bystander effect. Again, look it up. It's cool. But you can so tell I'm a psych major. It's not even funny. It's kind of scary. But at least you can tell my social psych professor, Christian Capuzzo, awesome professor. Awesome professor. I did learn something, and I loved your class, by the way, if you're watching. I don't know if you are, but if you are, loved it. But, last night. So, first of all, I did the stupid thing about asking my roommate about her relationship, because I was kind of curious. And with me, I just can't keep something in my head. If it's there, it's one of my faults. If you haven't noticed from our first podcast. But yeah. I was going to go off on a tangent, but I kept myself on. My horse blinders were on finally. But they'll go off somewhere, don't worry about it. And I just did. But, okay. Yes. So, I'm a bit of a prude in the way that I think I'm shaking the camera. But, in that I have, like, I'm very strict on my own bedtime, which is kind of sad, since the bedtime usually for sounds so juvenile saying bedtime, but for college it's usually like not earlier than 11 or maybe even 10. But for me, being the prude that I am, I guess that would be the word for me. I'm prude. I'll say it, put it like blazing it right across my chest. Although you need big letters to get all the way across. Prude. I'm prude. Big nails. I'm woohoo. But, yeah. So, my fault. So I didn't get to bed till like 9:30, 9:45-ish. And so I wasn't in bed for 2 hours, which is one of those things where it's like, once you're like asleep, it's fine. I don't know if it is, but in my mind it was. We had a fire drill. Someone, I don't know who, and I don't know what they did, decided to set the fire alarm off, whether it was burning ramen, whether it was burning popcorn, which is a rather common one, which you'd think it was self-explanatory, although our microwave doesn't have a popcorn setting. It's like one of those turn dial ones where it looks like it's from like the 20s, although I don't know if they had microwaves back then, but it has like a turn dial, it's like, but it doesn't even have a turnstile in it. It doesn't even have like the rotating plate. It's just like this big box. Yeah, it's almost like a police interrogation room, I believe, from all the cop shows I watch. But back on the subject. Somebody burned something. Somebody was smoking. Somebody set the fire alarm off. And so our whole building is standing outside in like 35-degree weather. And at least I had the foresight to grab my shoes and put my shoes on. That does help. Put my bathrobe on, which saved me because everyone was freezing their nummies off, and I was only slightly cold. And grab my keys and ID, because it would be terrible if I locked myself out, although I have my roommate there. But can you imagine locking yourself out in the fire drill at midnight, walking down the aisle, be like, hey, I locked myself out? I would feel like a total dunce. I'd even put the cap on myself and go sit in the corner. But, so we're all standing out there, and it's kind of bad when you describe yourself as an ornery polar bear. I mean, that's how, like, disgruntled I was. I mean, I was so, like, bleary-eyed that I was walking down the stairs and like, ooh, either my sugar's low or I can't stand up straight. People must have think I was, like, drunker than a skunk. I was totally plastered, but I wasn't. And once I started waking up, I was better. But getting back up 3 flights of stairs was even worse. Because it was just like, you know, that like zombie state, like when you're going to bed after like a really long night, and I keep slapping my thighs, rather than slapping the table, I guess. Where you just kind of up the stairs. That was me. But yeah. So I woke up this morning. Yes, well, yesterday morning for you guys watching this on Friday. But so I woke up, like smacked my alarm clock around, which is slightly typical of me, but it was more so this morning or yesterday morning, whichever you prefer. That's because it was a terrible night last night, but that's fine. And random brainwave I had, which is not necessarily odd for me. You'll get used to my like stream of consciousness thought, where I usually get back to the subject. It may take a few subjects, or like a good few, like a group of 10, I don't want to say a decade, that means like 10 years. It may take me 10 years to get back to my topic, but I'm just kidding. It may take me a while to get back to my topic, but I do. But I was having dinner tonight, and I had a thought, which, since the food was incredibly uninspired tonight, which is not very usual for them. Usually they're pretty good about it. But this meal, oh man, it was terrible. I'm usually not one to put my dish in the dish return with food still on it. I've been like conditioned, like Pavlov's dog, to like clean my plate no matter what. I'll be sitting there, like eating, be like, I don't like this. This is terrible. I should stop eating this. But I never do, because it's like, must clean my plate, must clean my plate. Yeah, so thanks for that moment. You scarred me for life. But, no, I do thank you for that. But, so I'm eating, and it's this incredibly terrible brown rice, which I don't think they cooked it for long enough, and I don't think they put enough water in it. So, oh man, it gave me shivers just thinking about it. And then we had the beef was good. It really was. It was like a stir-fry kind of thing, but they did the beef and the veggies separately, which usually for me, I'm not a big one on like seasoning my food afterwards, but I had to season it. It's terrible. Usually they put kind of some kind of sauce on it. Even if it's just soy sauce. Oh, there it is again. But yeah, so terrible food. But the upside to it was I got a fortune cookie with it, which I totally reverted back to my childhood. Cause whenever we got Chinese takeout, which was never very often. I don't know why, but I guess that's why they made it really, really special. But whenever we get Chinese takeout, we'd always get the fortune cookies, which is kind of normal, cause Chinese food, fortune cookie. But I just realized that I don't know if it's just me now, or if it's just the way fortune cookies have turned, and it's kind of making it sound like they evolve. It's kind of this weird thought, but nevertheless, I don't think they should be called fortune cookies anymore, because they're not fortunes. And if you have gotten a fortune in your fortune cookie, go ahead and share it, because my fortune was terrible. It was more like advice. I mean, really, and it was like that cliched advice too. I swear, Mom Nilil has said this all the time, and so has Dad, and so has everybody. And quoting my fortune cookie right here, said, "Rome was not built in a day. Be patient." I'm like, that's not a fortune. It would be fortuitous if I were to go build Rome, although I really couldn't, unless I time warped. Just a jump to the left, mind you. And a step to the right. But it would be fortuitous if I were to build Rome, or if I were to somehow gain patience. And I'm a knitter anyway, so I already have patience. So I don't know why. But I'm going to stop rambling, and I will resist the urge to start up a pledge to rename fortune cookies. I won't build up a petition. You don't have to sign it, I promise. Just one of those weird things. But I shall get to knitting. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Which I should be working on something. That's probably why my hands are super, I was about to say OCD, but that's the wrong word. They're super energetic. I can't remember the name now. ADHD. That's the word. I have ADHD hands. Get them some Ritalin. But, so, I will start with our knit-along. For the month of February, well, January through February, since we kind of started late, I don't know if we're going to be doing prizes or giveaways or anything, but please join our group, which I'll get back to later, because I've got some shout-outs for you guys. But join our group, join our knit-along. You don't have to. It's not like a join or die kind of thing. It's not like, you must join, because you guys will stop watching, and we won't really know. But that's beside the point. But our knit-along. We are doing the Pavonis shawl by Sarma. I can't pronounce it in Finnish, so Rumi. Okay, so we're doing the Pavonis, and I posted pictures of it earlier today on our Ralph group, which I just started the thread for. So post your problems, what you like, what you don't like about this beautiful shawl. I love it. I really do. It may be one of those that I do eventually a little later on, after hindsight kicks in. It's like, oh, I love that shawl, and in the middle of it's like, oh, I forgot how difficult this was. But it's not very difficult. It's kind of hard to kind of get in the rhythm of it. But nevertheless, wasn't a very good picture online. Sorry about that. The lighting and all this stuff was weird, so it was just, cut bait and run, give you a nice wide angle, and here it is. That's the close-up of the lace. I don't know if you're getting that, because I can't see. It's on a camera, not a webcam, which is a bit of a downer, but that's me. So, for my Pavonis, I am using alpaca with a twist. It's alpaca with a twist Fino. It is 70% baby alpaca, 30% silk, which it is heavenly to work with. If you ever get the chance, pick it up. It's so worth it. I love it. I picked it up at My Aloni Yarns. Barbara there. It's lovely. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. So there's my Pavonis. It's working up nicely. It's sitting in my school bag. So, oh bugger, indigestion again. But it's in my school bag. I work like 3 or 4 rows a day, sometimes more if it comes out. This weekend I'm gonna try and like work on it. Hopefully I will try and like balance between my other project, which is in my drawer here. Give me a second. It is the Very Plucky Cardigan by 1 minute, and I'll give you that. By Kate Heister, and it's on my Ravelry page. I've actually gotten rather good at putting up my projects that I'm working on, actually like telling people that I'm done with them. I used to have like a whole bunch of works in progress that I had like finished and like given away and I'd forgotten about. So I went in, finally uploaded pictures for them, and I'm doing that again, bugger. But finally uploaded pictures of them, finally kind of finished them, but so I'm trying to get better at that. But nevertheless, here is my progress so far. It's got this cute little detail on the side by the button bands, which they're like fake button bands because there's actually no buttons, but which I like. I'm not a big fan of buttons. I've never done a very good button sweater because the button hole will always get really big. Either I need bigger buttons or I need to do a better buttonhole, and the fact is I never really button them. That's terrible. I need to remember to put zippers in. Zippers would be so much handier. But that was when you like a dissertation on my cardigan preferences. Sorry about that. But it's a raglan, top down with a seed stitch, and I never really have done a sweater with a seed stitch edge, but I am really loving it. I really am. Sorry, I thought I heard my roommate again. So that is that. Sweet mates next door just don't mind the noise. They're actually tame. Last semester I would have been terrible. But I am doing the Very Plucky Cardigan in I Love This yarn. It's kind of floppy now. I should have probably gotten the full skein. But it is in light gray, which is a rather uninspired name for a color. I always like the odd ones, like the seagull, or I don't know, something other than just light gray, kind of uninspired. If I hadn't already said so. Like this color is called winter mint, or wintergreen. Wintergreen, that's the name of it. Which is very pretty. It's better than saying light-ish green or soft green or pastel green. But I guess that's just me. If you like those, that's fine. So that is that. Now, before I sign off, I have some business, if all that nonsense wasn't. Few shout-outs. We started our Ravelry group beginning of the week, if I remember correctly. Yes, because on Monday I spent forever trying to make our profile pic, but that's neither here nor there. But our blog was posted on, oh bugger, where's my notes? Our blog was posted on knittingpodcast.blogspot, done by One-to-One or Carla on Ravelry. Big thanks to her. I mean, I think that's how a lot of you guys found us, which we're glad you're here if I haven't scared you off yet, which might be a distinct possibility. You may not make it to the end. Whoa. Just kidding. But, nevertheless, big thanks to you, Carla. Very cute profile pic, by the way. Nice to see you've joined. Nice to have you here. And before this it's totally blown out of proportion, time to move on. To my second shout-out, which is a bit overdue, and I have to apologize to her, because she started following our blog, oh goodness, before I came back to school, and I just totally bleh, just kind of fell out of my head. I always forgot. But there is the edit button on blog posts, but I would never do it. It's terrible, and I'm so sorry, Kristen. But Kristen of thecraftyquilter.blogspot, or the Crafty Quilter as she is known, who is a very crafty quilter, a very lovely quilter. If you ever need anything quilted, talk to her. Lovely woman to work with. She's done 2 of our quilts. No, 3 of our quilts. I lied. Bad me. Bad me. But she started following our blog. It's nice to have you along. We used to knit together when she used to live up in El Paso, or down in El Paso. Or we used to live on the mountains, so I guess you could say up in El Paso. But whichever way you think we are, she used to be there. We used to have lots of fun. Say hi to the kids for me, Kristen. Lovely kids, really. Mark, Jack, and Emma. Wonderful kids. So if I haven't embarrassed you yet, I'll stop. So thanks to both of you. If you join our group, I'll mention you. If you mention your blog, I'll mention you too. I'll mention anybody who would have a post that introduces themselves to us. Kind of sad, but once this gets going, it'll probably be better. And I should probably put those at the beginning. That would probably be a good idea. But brief hiatus in my podcasting, so it's just getting later and later. So brain cells and more brain cells just kind of shutting down for the day. So in about an hour and 20 minutes, I'll be in bed. So it's not saying much for me right now. But I don't have class tomorrow, so I can be brain dead all tomorrow. Although I'm participating in a research experiment I'm so excited for. But I'll probably talk about that next time. Remind me. And I'll hold you to that. I have another project, but I can't show you because it's a present. And she knows about it, but she doesn't know about it, so I'm just going to leave it at that before I confuse everybody, if I haven't already. So, if you're still watching, it's nice to have you along. If you left, you wouldn't know, but, well, I wouldn't know you, something like that. At this point, I'm going to sign off. Have a great evening, well, whenever I post this, so have a great rest of the day. It'll probably be Friday. Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see you back on Monday when Mom posts. Fingers crossed. So, bye from the dorms.